Beep beep. Woo. Hello everyone! Welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be reacting to one of the early uploads from the YouTube channel The Game Terrorists. I'm a huge fan of their work and I hope that you will enjoy this video as well. This is very educational because we are talking about cars. Let's start. This video came out in the year 2015, so I think it's around 6 years ago, but it's still very
An episode about cars? Don't road rage quit just yet. This episode may save your life, provided you find yourself in a post-apocalyptic desert wasteland. Hey, you never know!
Hey, you never know. Is that saying that, well, hey, you never know.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory.
Hello.
The show that would like to start today's episode off with a little thing I'd like you to consider. The world could end at any moment.
Wow. That is the start of your video? My gosh.
Hashtag Motivation Monday, this is not. But think about it. Absurdly powerful nuclear warheads, global warming, rumors that the Twilight movies are getting remade. Seriously, we are primed for the world coming to a gruesome end. But when that happens, us theorists aren't going down without a fight.
Yes, not going down without a fight. That's true, that's true, that's true.
No, sir. In the dog-eat-dog post-apocalyptic
Oh! Dog eat dog.
Earth, it's survival of the fittest.
Oh my god, shark eaten by a shark, with eaten by a shark, then eaten by a shark, then eaten by a shark, and that seems to be a shark behind that shark. My gosh.
And that means survival of the smartest. With today's episode dedicated to making sure all you loyal theorists are the ones who outwit, outplay, and outlast, and can then repopulate the world with little mini theorist babies. Hey, I'm just looking out for you guys. Feel free to thank me in advance. Who needs that dating sim video you've been waiting so long for when the only pickup line you'll need is, "Hey baby, we're the last two people on Earth. Don't find me so repulsive now, do you?" Which brings us to the world of Mad Max. A desert wasteland where water is scarce, fuel is scarcer, and you're only as good as the size of the flamethrowers on the side of your war machine. In Mad Max's vision of the future, cars are everything. They're a status symbol, a way to cross the vast oceans of sand, and your primary offensive and defensive weapon. It's your best friend, your closest ally. You know how some games have a
I want you this woof happen.
dog? Well, this one has a car. And there's a dog too, but the car is truly the bigger deal. And the game seems to reflect this fact in the huge number of ways it can be customized as you collect more scrap.
Wow. The list of customization option is wow. That's a lot.
From the world around you. The car you drive around is a reflection of you, your personality, and since this is a game, your play style. That's probably why the car in the game is called the Magnum Opus. It's your personal masterpiece. Mad Max is truly an RPG with cars. One might call it a car PG.
I knew it! She's gonna say car PG. Get it? Car PG? Alright, I got a joke.
Which means if we're gonna survive and get to repopulate the world in our likeness, we need to figure out how to create the best vehicle for surviving an end of the world scenario like this. And who knows, if by some odd chance the world doesn't end, maybe this video will help you to not get ripped off at the mechanics the next time you take in your car. So, there's that benefit.
That'll cost extra. Nope.
Fit too. But before we start souping up our magnum opus, not that type of souping. Man, we really have a lot to learn. We need to understand the world that we're dealing with. Using Mad Max as the example, there are 3 core challenges this world presents us: driving in a sandy environment, limited amounts of fuel, and having to defend against other drivers. The War Boys. And let me emphasize the war part of their name. These guys are ferocious, doing everything from ramming into you at full force to hopping on your car and taking you out from the hood, or even jumping at you while armed with explosives like mini kamikaze strike.
Oh my god, he actually... Wow. Why? Who? Goodness.
Lucky for us, the game allows us to customize 18 different parts of our car, from normal things like tires and suspension to weird post-apocalyptic things like side burners and, thunder poons. Now don't you confuse that with harpoon. Those are 2 obviously different categories there, friends. Harpoon and thunder poon. Poontang. What does that even mean? So where do we start? Well, knowing that the War Boys are such a big threat in the wasteland, we'll want to trick out the elements of our car that boost our attack and defense, right? That means maxing out categories like the ramming grill, side burners, and aforementioned thunder poon for offense. Thunder poon.
Let me try. Thunder, poon. Okay, let's continue.
And on defense, tricking out our armor, grinding rims, and border spikes. Huge chunks of metal that make the car look like a rusted out Sonic the Hedgehog and, dissuade War Boys from hopping aboard. So, in true CarPG form, let's make our car into a tank. Maybe maxing out with weapons and armor will be the secret to our wasteland survival. Let's run a test in the game to see if this is our ideal pro-level post-apocalyptic strat for living long and prosper.
Wait, wouldn't that make you a tank? That means you will be slow, you'll be too much weight onto yourself. I don't think you can travel much. I don't think you can travel much.
Ring.
See, told you. See, you cannot travel much. Oh my gosh, you're stuck there. You cannot move up.
Forget tank, we just made our car into a sitting duck. That was like O.J. Simpson car chase levels of slow. We couldn't keep up with enemies, we couldn't outrun them, and because we were so heavy, we could barely maneuver in the sand or the hills. And can we talk about speed? I've seen senior citizens drive faster on their way to Sizzler. And on top of it all, we're burning through gallons of gasoline just to...
Oh no. Gasoline.
Wait, it's not gasoline, it's guzzling? That's
Gasoline.
just... Why?
Gasoline.
Why is it when civilization ends, so do all the normal words we use to call things? Okay, we may have lost our homes, but we haven't lost our grammar.
Caution, passive voice.
People. Long story short, in protecting ourselves against the War Boys, we've forgotten the 2 other challenges of the wasteland. Sandy, low fuel driving. And since talking about fuel efficiency sounds boring right now, let's start with sand. Driving in sand is all about a tire's tread and surface area. Narrow tires sink deep into sand, creating a small ridge in front of the tire that they constantly push forward as the car drives. This produces a ton of extra resistance, meaning that the car needs more torque to keep moving. But it can't get that torque. With loose sand under the vehicle, the tires aren't able to grip and push forward, instead digging themselves deeper into a hole. That's why when you're driving on sand, it's recommended that you have wider or even slightly deflated tires.
Oh, so it's wider or even slightly deflated tires is work better.
The increased surface area allows the weight of the vehicle to be distributed across the top of the sand, rather than cutting down into it. You know what else tire noobs might overlook? the tread of the tire. Those fancy patterns in the rubber actually have a purpose. Shocking, I know. I just used to buy tires off what the mid-range price was. Cause you know, you don't wanna go too cheap, you're driving on it after all, but seriously, I ain't paying that much for a tire. Who do you think I am, presidential candidate Donald Trump?
No, you shouldn't use that joke. Oh gosh, no, you shouldn't use that joke. Come on, I know I know back then it was 2015, but you shouldn't use that joke. No, gosh. Oh, no. Gosh.
Topical humor. Anyway, just to give you an example, tires optimized for driving in mud have an inside to outside angled tread with wide voids between the raised sections. The idea is
I didn't know that.
that this creates self-cleaning tires. Mud is forced from the center and pushed out to the sides, not getting stuck in the middle of the tire. Sand tires are incredibly unique, with a weird paddle-shaped tread. This allows the tire to grab as much sand as it can and use it to push, giving the vehicle forward momentum. It's kinda like how you use your cupped hands when you swim. The car is literally swimming through the sand.
Yes, that's correct. That's the reason why we do not swim. For example, we do not swim like this, or we do not swim like this. We swim like this because we have additional glove. We have additional, yeah. We do not swim like this. We don't swim like this. We swim cup together. Yeah.
And get this, Mad Max nails it. Look at their tire customization menu. Tires with wider treads that don't allow gripping on sand are discouraged, while the ridged, scooping tires give you a sand maneuverability bonus. So when creating our ideal post-apocalyptic vehicle, you can bet we're gonna wanna strap those things onto our magnum opus. So that helps with the sand component, but what about fuel efficiency? Well, the easiest way to improve that is to lose weight off your vehicle. Between the 1970s and early 2000s, the average weight of vehicles in the US climbed steadily, with a typical car weighing just over 2 tons. Not tons, NNES, just to clarify for you metric users.
Metric users practically every part of the world except for your part.
Rather 4,000 pounds or 1,800 kilograms. Reason being?
I love it that he includes LBS and KGS so that people from all around the world is able to sort of understand what he meant.
International oil embargoes were no longer an issue, but now with fuel costs climbing and eco-friendliness a top priority, vehicles are actually losing weight. It's like Atkins for the Aztec. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, for every 100 pounds taken off a vehicle, the fuel economy is increased by nearly 2%. If you live in California where gas is $3.50 a gallon, wait, are you kidding me? It's $4.45 now? I am literally pausing the audio right now. $4.45 a gallon. I swear, California, you are miserable sometimes.
Yeah, about that. I'm so sorry, but it's gonna get a bit more miserable for you, especially in California, because of the fire and 2020 lockdown. So sorry.
Alright, just redid the calculation. If you live in California where gas is $4.45 a gallon, that translates to nearly 10 cents per gallon. But looking on the bright side, I guess the situation could be worse. I could, say for instance, live in a desert hellscape where evil warlords will kill me on sight if I'm unable to drive away. Then the cost of an empty tank will be slightly higher. So let's strip off our armor and build our light, roguelike Carpg character to see how he survives. Okay then. We may have overcorrected a bit. The problem here was that being light and maneuverable is great if your primary method of attack doesn't require driving your vehicle head-on into a crash like a test dummy. As Mad Max shows, in a post-apocalyptic world, we have to be prepared to fight, not just run away all the time. And unlike the game where we can easily customize the car to meet the mission, in real life, we're assuming we get one car, which means there needs to be some level of balance in our war machine. As such, the best class seems to be the middle class. We are the 99%, so let's...
Not too high, not too low. If you're too high, nah. If you're too low, nah. We are the middle class. That's the best.
Let's add some armor and weapons back on, but balance out the weight by talking suspension. Basically, a car's suspension is the system of springs and shock absorbers that connect a car to its wheels. The job of the suspension is to make sure the tires stay connected to the road surface in order to provide good handling and stability, while also minimizing the amount of jolts the passengers feel from bumps in the road, which, when you think about it, is actually a really tough job. On one hand, suspension needs to provide a force down into the ground to keep the tires driving, but on the other, there's the upward force necessary to hold up the main body of the car, suspending it so the drivers don't feel every pothole.
I bet you did not know, you didn't expect that from an episode, right? Such a educational fun fact. I'm pretty sure you don't know about that. The people in the audience right now.
By balancing increased armor with upgraded suspension, we'll sail over the sand, adding pounds to the vehicle but not sacrificing quite as much maneuverability. So to craft our perfect survival machine, we want sand tires with a nice mid-range amount of armor and weaponry, and a strong suspension. But there's one last part we can still optimize that's not nearly as sexy, but can do a whole lot to aid performance. Exhaust. Mad Max allows customization of your exhaust pipes, which at first glance I was like, why would this ever help me survive to repopulate the earth? Isn't this like purely cosmetic? But upon further research, this is actually one element that can greatly increase your car's performance in terms of both fuel efficiency and defense. Let me explain. Most engines run on what's known as a 4-stroke combustion cycle, sometimes known as the Otto cycle, after the guy who invented it. Not the auto cycle, the Otto cycle. Otto, O-T-T. Just read the script and fix the visual. There you go.
OTT.
The 4 strokes in the cycle start with the intake stroke, where the piston in the cylinder
OTTO. Okay. Alright. OTTO.
cylinder goes down and lets in a mixture of air and fuel. The compression stroke is next, where the piston rises and compresses the air-fuel mixture. The spark plug ignites the mix, which explodes and pushes the piston back down. This is called the combustion stroke, number 3. And finally, the exhaust valve opens, the piston moves back up, and pushes the exhaust out the cylinder and out of the car's tailpipe. The aptly named exhaust stroke. A more elaborate exhaust system means that the cylinders can get cleared faster. The faster the cylinders are cleared, the faster the cycle can start again, and the faster the engine can propel you away from marauders looking to steal your cans of Dinky-Dee dog food while improving your gas mileage. That's a lot of importance from just a lame tailpipe.
This auto system, OTTO system, is not necessarily the best, but it's good.
Max's improved exhaust systems reflect this by increasing your top speed. An important stat to consider when we're being weighed down by heavy ram bars and thunder poons. So, what's the verdict? Well, in real life, we have limitations. Chances are we're going to get one car to meet all our needs. As such, if we're trying to survive in a desert wasteland, a hybrid model is the way to go. And no, I'm not talking about your eco-friendly Prius hybrid. I mean a hybrid of power and speed, a balance between weight and maneuverability. But that's in real life. In the game, you don't have those limitations. You can build and hijack cars to your heart's content. You can easily customize the car to its intended use, the mission you have planned. And if you make a mistake and, well, die, you can always respawn and try a different build to suit your mission. A tank for a combat run, a lightweight speed demon for a death race. Or you could just make the pretty pink and blue car. But that's the beauty of games. Have fun experimenting while it lasts. Cause when the you-know-what hits the you-know-fan, you'll have to contend with old warboy MatPat and his thunder poons.
It's just a theory. Come on. Let me do it wrong time. It's just a theory. Alright, let's continue.
And CatPat, who is even more ferocious. But hey, that's just a theory.
People are making jokes about the apocalypse like there's no tomorrow. Come on. Apocalypse is literally the last day.
A game theory. Thanks for watching. Speaking of Mad Max, it is legitimately the best movie of the year that I've seen. In fact, if you want to learn why it's so good and see how it subconsciously is directing your eyes through its crazy action scenes, then click Post-Apocalyptic Cat Pat to check out the brand new episode of Frame by Frame over on the Film Theorists.
Film Theorists!
It's a really fascinating episode looking at the cinematography of the film. Watching the video really made me excited to go back to the movie again and figure out more of its secrets. Or if you'd rather hang out here, then subscribe. It's like car insurance for your YouTube viewing, except instead of a snarky gecko, you get me. Which, alright, just go with the gecko. And finally, a special thank you to WB for letting me get a sneak peek of Mad Max, and for giving me an excuse to learn more about cars by sponsoring this video. I seriously knew next to none of the stuff that I talked about today until I researched it, which
You just have to sign of like car noob, car noob, car noob, car noob.
is, quite frankly, very, very sad. Hey, I'm not a car guy, okay? Now, if you'll excuse me.
Oh my gosh! He's doing a FNAF episode. Oh my gosh! Okay. Well, how many FNAF episodes have you done? Anyways, that's another episode. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do like this video, please consider to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of mechanical stuff, educational stuff in which you are not aware of included in this video. I hope that you learned something new today. The video that I just reacted to is from the YouTube channel The Game Theorists. Their videos are amazing. Do check them out. And yeah, remember, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. And also check out their Film Theorists video. It's awesome.